I count it down or something?
I wanted to wait for you to say something. Whenever you said it, stop.
Oh, okay.
Because that
Are we
shows.
supposed to...
Dude, did you see Skinamarink?
I did.
In this house. In this house.
No
Yeah.
way.
Dude, that's wild.
We watched the same movie.
We didn't plan for that.
Yeah, we didn't plan it. That's embarrassing.
That sucks, dude. So then what? All right, I guess did you care? What did you think? Skinamarink.
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 Damn it, I'm watching Skinamarink when I could have been at the skating rink.
That's good.
Yeah. Skinamarink is a movie by
Bryce Dallas
Buyers
Howard.
Dallas Buyers Club.
Skinamarink is a brand new horror movie about two kids who wake up.
Watch the brand new horror movie that's scaring the out of everybody on TikTok.
2022's Skinamarink is the scariest movie I've never finished, and I'm going to tell you why. Before we start off, I want to say that this movie's not going to be for everyone. A lot of people are going to find it pretentious, annoying, slow, dull.
Tell us what
Skinamarink
Skinamarink's about.
Guys and Justin, Skinamarink is about two children who wake up in the middle of the night to find their father is missing and all the windows and doors in their home have vanished.
That'd be a good way to describe the plot if there was a comprehensible plot to break down.
Whoever wrote Skinamarink, or rather the description of Skinamarink for things like IMDb and Letterboxd, had a tough job.
Yeah.
That assignment is like, I gotta do that.
Yeah. So what did you think overall?
I was dying to talk about this movie.
I know, and I was wondering,
but I want to slow it down.
Okay.
I think Skinamarink doesn't need it doesn't ask for energetic, hyperkinetic, back and forth verbal spitfire. We need to talk about this movie the way it is for us. Not as a bit or like a gimmick. I just mean I have to take my time thinking about it.
Well, this is a movie...
Even in conversation. I don't have a bunch of rattle off all this shit.
Well, because it's not a traditional movie in any sense at all. There's not a straight linear narrative. It's extremely abstract. It's an art film in every sense of the word.
It is. I mean, there's two ways you can look at it. We can talk about it from the perspective of the marketing, the external factors of Skinamarink as a product, or we can talk about the film itself.
I think we can talk about both.
Which one should we start with?
I think we can talk about both. I think a lot more people found this movie that would have never even heard about it.
I know that
through TikTok. It was like a TikTok thing that blew it up, I think.
It was. And I think one thing I will say is I like every once in a while seeing a certain artist in a certain genre suddenly get elevated to auteur level in that specific subgenre. It's not first of its kind, but I think for a new generation, it is kind of, if it is as big as the rest of the world sees it as, or at least, whatever. It's like this generation's Blair Witch in a way. My question is, why is Gen Z or this newer generation, why is the movie that we got that blew up on a site that is literally hyper-stimulation bad for you? It'll tell you you're mentally ill. You know what I mean? By 2 p.m.
Yeah.
People go and see this movie that is it's a deconstruction of the genres that already were pushing it for the previous generation.
Yeah.
So why is it you'd think it would become more and more and more and more malignant, or not malignant necessarily, but like James Wan, like popular box bluster. To have this be in theaters blows my. Who greenlit this to ever go in theaters?
It was a $15,000 budget, and it made, I think,
it's $2 million. $2 million as of now.
I think it had that viral spark. I didn't see the TikToks that went viral.
I didn't either. So it was people talking about it like it existed already.
Yeah, I'd love to look at it, but I imagine it's probably a misrepresentation of what this movie actually is. There's probably just a couple of the really creepy, quick kind of jump scare moments in the movie, which are there. But if people see that and they think they're going to go see a cool found footage with nothing but jump scares, it's not going to be what you expected.
It's not being hated by as many. A lot of people still find it scary that are younger, like that went to see it.
The few people that I've talked to that have seen it didn't make it all the way through. They bailed like 10, 15 minutes out.
This is a movie that is like the most come to it. Like if you don't watch this movie knowing what it is, or just setting aside the time and being like, I'm going to see what this movie does. Yeah. The way I described it to my buddy, because I think it's a disservice to the movie, like, to have it in theaters. That's so weird to say.
I disagree. When I was watching it, because I did watch the majority of it during the day, I think it would have been a really cool experience to be in a absolute dark theater with the sound up, a really big screen. I think that would have enhanced it.
This movie is 100 minutes, dude.
It's too long, first of all.
For the premise, visually and cinematically, it is setting up. 100 minutes is not. You know how they say, "Oh, that's 70 minutes." That's not even that's barely a theatrical release. For this movie to accomplish what it does, what it should do, and often it does do it in moments throughout. I cannot find a single merit why it should be that long. I'm not even saying it's a bad movie.
I agree.
I'm saying, what are you why?
I think it did.
This is excessive, and I'm good with that shit. I like that shit, which is why. And I'm sorry to just steamroll this, but I'm ranting about this fucking movie.
You hated it, so that's it's out.
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna drop the bomb and just
not
say
at all.
Okay.
Not at all, dude.
Oh, okay.
Not at all. No. I like it quite a bit.
Go off, King.
I'm more shitting. I'm pissing and shitting on
the length,
on people who hate it, and on I'm pissed at the I've never been pissed at something that I love for gathering. Who is this for? Because it's like, this shouldn't have been a theatrical release. This is something I would find while I'm searching liminal space videos on YouTube.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. Yeah.
It's not even basically, because people would have said that about Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
They go, this is like a YouTube video. This is like, no.
I think it accidentally went viral. It happened. It was like one of those weird lightning in a bottle moments.
And we'll talk about Heck later. I watched Heck. I don't think you've seen it, right?
No, I haven't seen it.
I watched Heck this morning, which is, again, it's like, but that's the wrong way to watch it. So I'm bored. I'm on my phone. I'm looking around my room. It's daylight.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. I hate it. But I don't, because I watched it really late last night, and it scared the shit out of me.
There's some really genuinely creepy moments. This basically represents what a half-conscious dream is like. It gives this unbelievably surreal feeling. There's never a human face fully in frame. So everything is taken from kind of a child's angle, like a child's view.
It's fractured memories.
It is. It's like recalling partial memories.
Like, I have this one, and this is a perfect context to say it, because this is what I mean.
And the film plays
I have this memory that's just this random thing. I know I was at my friend's house at a sleepover, and I was looking out the window, and it just seemed like something was walking out in the field.
And then fades to something else that seems very vivid too.
Yeah, and it's just I remember that, but I don't even know why my brain has that.
Yeah.
I remember that chandelier. Because I thought that at first too. I'm like, is this POV of a child? Is this that? But then the shots even with the narrow techniques this film has, No, the kid walks away. It seems like a camera's just sitting there.
The perspective of the evil, even maybe the whatever entity is in the house.
I think it's just memory.
And you can't really spoil this, by the way, because the whole thing doesn't have any sort of. You
know
can't
what it
spoil
is?
this movie because it's too vague. The
It's
whole
a
thing
noise
is,
album.
Yeah, the thing is so vague and so like skeletal in the way the story is told that you can't spoil it. We could pretty much talk about everything in this movie, and it's not not going to spoil the flick.
Yeah, this movie is like 100-minute visualizer of like a liminal, high brow.
Even when they show people
Noise rock.
when they show like the profiles of these children talking, you'll be able to see like just their feet and hear their voice, but their voice is like disembodied in this really strange way.
And they talk so real, like they're so young.
It's like barely a whisper, and then at all times
Yeah.
there's some cartoon from the 30s playing in the distance and various levels of being audible.
I didn't really think about that, until now. This movie
There's no
is
score.
so realism.
The
Like,
only
this is-
score in the entire movie or music is those ambient sounds coming from the TV,
Well,
which is
can
there's
we
a couple
get into
extra
one
sound
criticism?
effects. Yeah.
Can we get into one thing I didn't like?
Well, first off, I want to say the runtime. That's the first
100
thing you
minutes,
brought up.
yeah.
That it was like an Achilles heel of this movie. You could have
Yep.
experienced a really cool short film if this was.
Yep.
I mean, maybe, and this would be stretching it, 50 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
cut and got a lot of the same shit, and you wouldn't have had those moments where you start to drift off and
yes.
look at your phone or have the desire to. Because even if you're trying everything in yourself to focus on this movie, it just loses you because it just drags.
You know, like when you're giving a speech in school, like back in high school.
When I look over, I'm
and-
just checking to make sure it's still
No,
recording.
you're good. Like when you're in high school and you have to do a speech and you practice it and you're like, that's a minute. Mm-hmm. Or you know what I'm saying? Yeah, something like that. That's how this was, to where I was like,
You'll look up and they're like, there's
Are
40
you
minutes
kidding
left.
me?
There's 45 minutes
I'm
left.
not kidding. Maybe I'm just ADD or something. You know, maybe I just got bored. I wasn't bored. It's just I looked and I'm like, when shots are stable like that and you're in a moment, even if you're attached to the movie, even they drag on no matter how invested you are because of the way the movie's shot.
Yeah.
It's boring you. It's partially intentional because it's going.
It is.
Isn't this a vibe?
I'm seeing this a
Like-
lot. This is happening a lot, and I don't know if this was always the case, but with these modern auteurs, they're writing, directing, and most directors don't have editors these days.
Well, and how
They
low
edit
budget
their
you
own
can do
movies.
stuff
Yeah,
now.
so he edited his own movie. Same thing with Terrifier 2, Damien Leone, Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith edits his own movie, and a lot of times you can tell. I think that's why a lot of these old school directors, even they've always had editors that are like a second eye.
Right.
Because you're lost when you're directing your own movie and writing it, and it's just like you're completely up your own ass in every aspect of the creative process.
Yeah.
I feel like you need to be checked a little bit. Take a step back, have somebody else take a look at it, because this is an example of a movie that even movies. And I thought about this when I was watching it. Even like a normal ass everyday movie, Hollywood movie that tells an incredibly elaborate plot doesn't need to be an hour and 40 minutes.
Well,
You can bang
imagine
movies
one
out in an hour and a half.
that has all that plot, but is still shot the same with
Right.
the same language.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. No. Imagine
you
Marriage
talking-
Story, but every shot in the movie is of the corners of walls,
Oh,
and the
yeah.
corners of hallways,
Right.
and radiators.
It
and
still wouldn't-
feet.
it still wouldn't
People
hold
would
it.
hate it. It wouldn't get nominated for anything. No one would
Yeah.
give a fuck about it. I sound like I hate this movie, don't I?
I'm going to tell you what I told the audience this past summer at the world premiere. I cannot guarantee that you are going to love this film. What I can guarantee is this. When the film is over and you go home, go to bed, and turn off the lights, I guarantee you are going to have a difficult time falling asleep.
Here's what I looked like while watching. I applaud the attempt, but this was completely boring.
Your frustrations are the obvious things that make this movie like almost intolerable. Like,
Yeah.
what's the word? Intolerable? Untolerable?
Yeah, a little intolerable.
Like, these aspects are movies that are like kind of bug us, but would turn other people completely off.
Well, and they're things that shouldn't be attached to a movie. Here it is. Skinamarink, of no fault of its own, demands way too much of its audience.
That's a very good way to put it.
Exactly
I just
that.
rambled like an idiot. I'm probably just going to cut that last part out, and you just explained it. Yeah.
No, I'm not mad at the movie. I think it's great. And in this day of streaming, if I stumbled across this while I'm looking through Backrooms videos, while I'm looking through Liminal Space videos,
Yeah.
it would be the best one on there I've ever seen. But, and I don't want to say as a movie it's bad, because it's like, well, it's in this day and age.
It's extremely
Someone can make a
challenging.
movie like this for 15 grand. I'm surprised it's not less.
Here's why I don't hate
I
it.
really
though.
am.
Here's why I don't hate it though. I'd rather see somebody make some complete abstract bullshit because that's what they're feeling than somebody with a low budget trying to make a real movie. Because you know how those can be just so bad. Like this movie that he's telling in Skinamarink, you could have done this like a traditional movie, but then it wouldn't be what it is.
Yeah.
This movie is what it is because it's so fucking weird. And it's like, take it or leave it. If you don't like it, don't fucking watch it because it's not made. It's a very specific, challenging movie, and the majority of people will not respond to it. It's put on like an ambient noise video on YouTube. You watch it and you just kind of like chill. You're in this creepy, quiet room. You're hearing a creepy voice. And these kids will say really things like, "I'm going upstairs." And that's it. Like that's the dialogue is kind of stilted on purpose, you know?
Oh man.
You hear the disembodied evil like, "Come to the basement."
There's like 10 minutes of not even a voice
Yeah.
before one word is spoken, and you're like,
But it does keep
thank
the
God
vibe.
something happened. Like, thank God. What now? What? Like it just.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Help me keep an eye on that camera.
Okay.
Just glance at it every once in a while.
Make
Just
sure the light's on.
Make sure that
Okay.
screen's on, yeah.
Also, now that we're taking a little break here, do you know this has been here the entire time?
Oh shit. That's vibes, dude.
Weed is legal now. It's funny that we can
Yeah.
like legally do that.
I don't even think it'll be a
It's
big
a
deal.
flex. We are keeping it hella real.
You know?
Skinamarink, the opening thing where it says "Rest in peace, Joshua Harbucker."
I didn't look up who that is.
So-
Who is that?
I didn't even question it when I watched it, and I thought, okay, so this is.
I figured it was baked into the movie, and that's
Didn't you go? So this is about the perspective we're seeing this from. Maybe it's a paralyzed kid.
Right.
I went there. I don't know why. I'm like, oh, this is all POV from a paralyzed kid.
like the RIP was not like an actor in real
No.
life or anything, but like somebody in the movie.
Because it should say "in memory of,"
Right.
Or at the end say "this film's dedicated to" before the credits. Why is it like over the opening? You see the shot of the hallway and it
Yeah.
says that. I go, okay, so then the kid falls. You know what I'm saying? I was like, this is.
But it's not that
connected.
name because the kid in the movie are Kevin and Kaylee.
Which, I only knew Kaylee because that one said more than Kevin,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned.
So who's the kid? Who's that kid?
Joshua Buchhalter.
Yeah.
He was the assistant director on the movie.
Oh, okay. So it
passed
was.
away.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
it was a real person.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's cool. He did that.
I know. It's such a tiny team that's.
That must have been a bummer, man. That must have been one of his good homies or
Close.
something. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Damn, that sucks. That's sad.
But I think I do want to bring in Heck here.
So this was, you said it's like the
No,
proof of
it's
concept.
connected to Skinamarink, so I'm just
Yeah.
saying I'll throw it into the mix here.
Yeah.
Because it's a very similar concept to Skinamarink, except the two big differences I think narratively that come up are the kid is a little older, and also it's much less restrained with looser camera work, but still the exact same concept. It's just not
little
afraid
more
to
raw?
show a face. It's not afraid
Oh,
to,
okay.
even though it doesn't a lot. It's just, this is maximalist to the minimalist degree for Skinamarink, and Heck's
It's the same
pretty much the
story
same
in
thing.
Heck.
It's the same idea, yeah. It really,
Story, we don't really know.
yeah, it really is. There's some variations, but
It's like an evil entity in a house with some kids and the parents are acting weird and shit.
I probably didn't pick up on all the stuff the Reddit has, but like, from what I gathered, the end of it is the kid just asking his mom, who I think also seems to, it's questionable what's going on
If
with
she's
her.
actually there or not.
Yeah, or what she is, or And then she goes, "Mommy, are we in hell?" And the thing is, you know how in this one at the end it says day?
Hinting that it is hell?
Possibly. That's a liminal space thing. It's sort of Lovecraftian. It's this idea of like what scary is that you don't know.
And there's weird shit with time. There's a point in Skinamarink where it says 542 days.
That's what I was going to say.
So it's like this weird movement of time and like things repeating and happening again and like may or may not have already... Because I noticed there was a reference to the two kids seeing something. It's like Kevin and Kaylee standing next to each other and they go, oh my God, they see... I think it was when the stuff was upside down on the ceiling.
In the chair, pretty early
on. And then
on.
it cuts to another scene and she's like, you have to see this. Like, little things are just off. Like, oh, I thought they just saw something together.
That's
so they
the
weren't
fractured
together.
memory stuff.
Yeah, the fractured thing. Yeah,
that's its conceit, is that you have to buy that you are kind of stumbling.
The parents could have already been gone for a certain amount of time. You don't know if they were really gone at the... I don't know. It's really weird.
How familiar are you with the liminal space subgenre?
We should talk about that.
Yeah, I would love to.
Is there... I was going to... Like, what's the
I can
official
describe it.
definition of it?
I can look it up.
Because I've been on... I've been off. In fact, there's some kid director that just got picked up by A24 for a liminal space
Is that
movie.
who did the most popular Backrooms one?
Yeah. It's a Backrooms
that kind of
thing on
green
YouTube.
office building. Yep.
He was like
Masterwork.
15,
Masterwork.
16 when he did those.
If you like Skinamarink at all, if you like give it the merits but kind of agree with our criticism of the runtime problem, the runtime paradox of Skinamarink. Okay, liminal space, sorry. Liminal spaces are the subject of an internet aesthetic portraying empty or abandoned places that appear eerie, forlorn, and often surreal. Liminal spaces are commonly places of transition or of nostalgic appeal. So it takes two pieces of kind of childhood, not nostalgia. It's able to kind of skirt that because it's just scary shit.
You're seeing things. You're seeing very, very common spaces, but in an environment that you normally don't see them. Like walking into a mall with nothing in it for miles and miles, right?
You walk in and they're like the milk's in the back, and you go and it becomes this, like, what is it called, vivarium? Like it becomes this.
Yeah.
At MC Escher that you never get to the milk, or you see it and you keep walking toward it and it never arrives.
There's a bunch of digital artists that I see on Instagram and YouTube who like computer generate these insane liminal spaces where it's just like the longest hallway you've ever seen, but so sparse, and the only thing in there is like an 80s Pepsi machine, just glowing in the background, and then it's just really weird.
Exactly. And YouTube's been the YouTube as a platform for like creative artists, I feel like have been working out the kinks of adding narrative to that and spinning a story that could hold your attention. For Skinamarink is kind of the first, I feel like, push of
liminal horror,
a whole movie.
Is this the first liminal horror movie?
No. Well,
they're calling it
movie. What's a movie, dude?
Well, I saw some. I think it was a Reddit thread talking about how some Uber hipster was like, you know, I think it's great that people are finding analog horror, but I wish this wasn't the first analog horror they've seen, or something like that. Like,
yeah,
I've never seen a movie done like this, but
yeah, because there hasn't really been a feature length thing. But like, I think the Backrooms is, might be wrong. No, it's not that long unless there's several parts he's done over the years, but. No, I think adding in just the way it can become horror, because it's been horror online, I guess, is where that thrives, because it's so cheap to make.
There's bits and pieces of found footage that have liminal moments. This is like the scene in Lake Mungo, where it's the long shot of the girl walking towards the camera. Have you ever seen that?
I think so.
Or the Blair Witch thing, where the guy's on against the wall going down into the basement in Blair Witch, and he's just staring at the wall, you know? And there was a third one I had in mind. I can't remember what it is now, but have you seen Lake Mungo?
I'm questioning liminal spaces by these things you're saying, is all I'm saying. If an atom was just a little bit off, your hand could like go through the floor, like we could fall through the floor or whatever. Sorry, I'll wait till you're fucking done.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's what I picture, these really creepy sparse.
Yes, but why is that scary to you?
Because it's vacant. It's odd. It's like, it seems
Do you feel
eerie.
like you should be there?
No.
Or shouldn't be there?
No. You feel
Why
like,
is there no one here?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a feeling. It's something you have to ask the audience to suspend your
like,
disbelief
why is
for
nobody
from
here
the
right
jump.
now? Yeah. An abandoned hotel with no chairs or anything. Just the walls, the floors, the ceilings, and that's it.
Yeah, and do you think that it could never work with a camera that moves, that is over the shoulder?
It has to
You know
almost
what
be
I'm
like a
saying,
weird
right?
POV.
It has to be found footage adjacent at least.
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
It can't work unless it's this.
This movie has a couple different perspectives because sometimes they'll be like when they like come upstairs or whatever. I feel like you did kind of get the perspective of a kid maybe going up the stairs.
It would, yeah, it did
But
that.
it's like it's not normal. It's not done
Oh,
normal.
no.
And
I
most of
just
the time, there is just a general like, not security cam feel, but just a static camera or static view.
It's so obtuse, and like you can't even call it a Dutch angle when
Right.
it's sitting at a Dutch angle because the intention, like this,
It's like you're just there observing. You're
staring
perspective.
in through another dimension into
Right.
this moment.
Yeah.
You're not watching a movie.
It doesn't feel like a staged camera shot.
No,
It's really weird, huh?
Like this movie literally couldn't be scary if it were made
felt
by
like a movie.
director and they shot it and these are the two
Right.
characters and they are like this and they are friends. Like, no, it works having what? A script, like as if you were to do a transcript of the dialogue of a page?
It's
less than a
visual
page?
first, yeah, less than a page.
It's a
of
paragraph's
dialogue.
worth of lines, probably.
There's a couple startling moments. Well,
I was gonna say, yeah.
You know what I think one of the most unsettling moments, and we are going to spoil a couple minor things here.
Big
but
time.
When the kid is on the phone with the police,
Yeah.
and there's that bizarre. You have the subtitles on. You can't always hear what the 911 operator is saying, but the kid's just like, "I'm 4.
Are you? Yeah.
My parents aren't here," and the cop asks him, like, "Why are you whispering? Like, you're alone by yourself and you're still whispering to me." It was just very unsettling.
And
This movie, I felt, was, for what it was, pretty fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
And extremely eerie, and I've never seen anything like it. Like, there's no way to critique a movie like this because
Yeah.
you're an asshole if you, it just sucks, it's boring.
Yeah,
if you
then you're
dismiss it
not-
as you're not paying attention,
Don't watch
or
it, yeah.
it's just not for you. I don't want to insult people because it's not for everybody, but
No, but it's not because you like
this movie digs its fucking nails into you.
if
and-
you let it, dude. If,
Right.
if you just have gun to your head, you have to sit there for 100 minutes.
I didn't feel drugged through it.
No.
It felt overlong, but I enjoyed
I had
myself.
to push pretty hard, dude.
I had to
I
push
did.
pretty hard at the beginning because I had to get
hard to
my
get over
footing,
that.
and then once some weird, creepy shit started happening, I was like, okay. The scene when he goes upstairs to see his mom, and his mom's sitting on
the
the edge
dad
of the
is sitting
bed.
there,
Yeah, the
looking at
dad's
the
sitting
bed.
there, and they're not moving at all. The camera slowly pans over. It's the kid's POV, and then her mom is like, "We love you," and like saying weird
Well,
shit.
dude,
and then they turn back around. The dad's gone, and then she's gone, and then it starts like, "Oh my god, what the fuck is happening?"
But yeah, she goes, go back downstairs. I
Yeah.
love you. There's someone else here.
Oh my god, that was creepy as fuck.
And the windows are gone, so it's dark. It could be the middle of the night. It could be 2
The doors are
p.m..
gone too.
Everything's gone. The toilet goes. They have to shit in buckets now. And like the story that it is implying is like the most unfilmable,
Yeah.
grotesquely horror, evil, dark movie.
It might be one of the best like visual portrayals of like what an actual nightmare feels like.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense. It makes sense in the moment, but then when you take a step back to look at it, you're like, what the fuck is
Because the
going
more
on?
sense you make of it, the scarier it is.
Yeah.
Because of the unknowns.
Because the kids weren't really freaking out. They were just like,
I
what's
think
going
it's not
on?
showing the freakouts. I think
Yeah.
the story is not the shots.
It's the
there's
spaces in
stuff-
between those.
It's like a kaleidoscope.
Yeah.
If you could unfold a
Because
kaleidoscope,
the kids are
it would
never
make
frantic
sense.
or hysterical. It's always like, well, what's going on?
Because we're seeing
Where's
them.
mommy?
We're seeing them not at points of tension.
Yeah.
The story is showing us moments just random.
Yeah.
When they're just hanging out, they're done screaming. Just like in Room. Remember when in Room with Brie Larson, how it's interesting to see what the actual day-to-day life is like.
Oh, yeah.
For someone like that. 30 years just passes. God damn.
hate
It's crazy.
I hated that fucking movie.
Jacob Tremblay is my favorite actor. But
It's
the
so depressing.
Skinamarink kids, there was a horror movie directed traditionally, out of the things they leave out of this movie.
Yeah, they could. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I
this
mean.
could have been a normal, like regular. Oh, there's a weird entity. Mom's gone. They could have done this.
Right.
I still feel like they could remake this, like make it like Hollywood. I feel like
Basically
Hollywood's
another
gonna try to do
Shudder
that.
original. I mean,
Yeah.
it kind of reminds me of like Incident in a Ghostland. Like, you know, that whole idea of
That movie's
just
a fucking weird.
they're not going to actually pursue.
Damn it! I tried to
this.
find the name of that cartoon. There's a really weird line about a bear. I'm a bear. It's like the last song in the movie. Oh, you know what? I searched it on YouTube.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Because being that there's no actual official music,
Yeah.
they're using these super old, nearly 100-year-old cartoons as the
Yeah.
entire soundtrack of the movie.
They're for use.
Yeah,
stuff.
like weird singing. There's birds chirping at times from the cartoons, but this I think.
Yeah, which throws you off because you keep thinking it's morning and then it'll cut to the TV.
Yeah, it's just like weird shit like this. I tried to find that one.
Yeah, lit by nothing but the TV playing.
If
those
I can find that
cartoons.
thing, I'm gonna insert a little bit of that song. But
It's that feeling going up the stairs in your childhood house, the safest place you could be in the world. But when
Yeah.
you're going up the stairs at night
You
and
run.
the basement's behind you, you're gonna die. if
did
don't
you
get
run?
Of course.
I ran up
I
my
had to
stairs
go-
like that too.
I had to go from my basement and then through cold garage
Oh, dude.
up the stairs. So I had to deal with
You can
a
just hear the
lot.
feet. I used to
Yeah.
run like a. I'm glad I'm not the only like scared little bitch when I was a kid. I used to run like a
No.
motherfucker up those stairs.
I mean, I would go upstairs and then do karate and stuff.
Yeah, I'd be like, once I got to the stairs.
yeah, once
like,
I
it's
got
all
to the
good.
stairs,
I wasn't scared.
yeah. Yeah.
I honestly would recommend this movie to anybody, not just every found footage film, but if you're into, I mean, like extremely experimental.
I
art
would
film.
YouTube liminal spaces.
Yeah.
And if it affects you, watch Skinamarink. You don't need to burn 100 minutes. You don't need to set yourself up for disappointment.
Yeah.
Because the way the genre works, like, will still scare you. There's no spoilers to tell. It's a what do you call it? It's a mood piece.
What you see, yeah, it's just like
It's a mood piece.
It is a mood piece. Like
Yeah.
what you see in the first 15, 20 minutes is the entire movie. But within that runtime, there are some genuinely like upsetting, creepy moments
If you let
that I
it-
think are worth it.
if you let the movie in, I could see myself, if I was even more into it than I was, like, you get sick watching this movie. Like, it
Yeah.
makes you feel so upset. Like in a way you can't put into words.
'Cause it's just
watching
not
people
right.
review this movie makes me laugh.
I haven't watched any reviews. yet.
Really? Oh,
I
dude.
watched the Found Flicks to try to figure out if there was any insight
didn't
that I
watch
missed
that.
about what it is. I like that
didn't
guy's
see
videos. He just always like breaks movies down. But and I didn't think he would be able to do this with this one or any. You can't really break down this plot because it's so
Yeah.
so just bizarre and fragmented.
Kind of like how there aren't YouTube channels doing actual structured movie review type reviews
Yeah.
of liminal space videos.
Right.
You come to it on its terms, you appreciate it.
If there's any story like the plot that's described on IMDb about the kids waking up to no parents, that is true, but really it's just about an evil entity that controls the time and space and
Yeah.
in the environment of this house with these two kids here.
What if you slip and fall, which is how the Backrooms video starts, is they're shooting something in a parking lot, and he goes, oh shit, and falls backwards, and then it just snaps to him in the hallways. And he's going,
creepy as shit.
what just happened? You know, if you take a wrong step, your atoms go this way instead of that way, you can fall through the planet or fall into wherever else, like interstellar stuff. So it's like, it's that concept. So what if that kid that slipped and fell in the attic suddenly just got sent into a upside down? You know, it's like a dark dimension. Now I'm in this thing. It's just like my house, and it is my house, and this is supposed to be my life, and this is happening. Like I don't know what to do.
And there's a lot.
That's why people think he
it plays
died.
with time. a
That's
lot,
why
too.
some people think he's in purgatory or hell
Yeah.
or that kind of thing, because it just seems like this endless purgatory.
Did you see that? Did you ever watch any of the Channel Zero show?
I can't even say yes, even though I did start
There's
like
a
the first
there's
episode.
a channel. The first season of that show is
It's an anthology, right?
it's I don't want to say amazing. I say amazing too much, but it is fucking awesome.
Really?
I didn't know what to expect. Well, the reason I bring it up, there's a similar thing where they go into this haunted house, and everybody goes to this haunted house, and it only appears like once every year or two, and they go into this haunted house. Some people come out like normal, just a normal. They think it's a pop-up haunted house, but some people enter this bizarro land where, you know, your house is here, my house is here, but it's a different reality. and she's stuck in it with her dad who had like died before.
Oh, wow.
So she's like reunited with her dad, but it's like not on this plane.
Right. There's just something askew.
Yeah. And that's kind of what this is, because it doesn't feel like reality. It's not real. It's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, and it seems like it starts like the night it happens.
Yeah.
You know, it does. I don't think it implies that the kid falling starts it, because that's like 10 minutes in.
There's a scene where they talk about like the dad is there at the beginning, and then
he's
leaves.
calling, going, Daniel fell, or whatever. Kevin fell. He hit his head.
That's right.
But he's okay.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't seem like the kind of thing where that happens like as an inciting incident, and then the movie starts, because
then it does the liminal shit, and then you see the dad leave, and then it cuts to that bright scene of the TV where it pans down and the cartoon's playing, and that's when the movie starts turning.
Once the brother and sister start talking back and forth, that's sort of the narrative of the movie.
I didn't consciously say, well, at some points I said this, but, you know, I didn't think, you know, I'll just put grain, lo-fi audio, film weird angles of the house, and Bob's your uncle. I'm going to tap into someone's reptilian brain. But there was shades of that where I thought, you know, this will definitely evoke this emotion in certain viewers and this emotion in others. Let's have at her. And it just kind of...
Never ever go see this movie unless you want to watch the floor, the corner, and door hinges for an hour and 40 minutes. Do not watch this movie, because that is all you'll see for an hour and 40 minutes. Oh, and you'll watch this horrible, horrible 60s TV show on the screen, and then you'll see Legos getting destroyed just kind of randomly, and then you'll get another shot of the carpet, and then you'll get just these blank shots with a bunch of white noise, and you're looking into just a black void, and nothing happens.
And they remember that weird little photo album where they start flashing photos, and you can see the sister has like no head, or the eyes are cut out, or there's no mouth over it.
That was really
because she didn't do what she was told. She lost her mouth.
I took her mouth away.
I took her mouth away.
Mommy's with the maggots now.
That's so creepy in that fucking
that
trailer.
is crazy.
Holy shit.
It's a Liminal space movie.
I don't think so.
No, the
Skinamarink, man, I have to say, this is one of those movies where I think if I watch this again, like, it's just I could see going back to this movie when I just need something to throw on, you know?
Oh my God, I could think of if I even intend on
I guess if I was in a really psychotic mood,
if you wanted to be scared. That's why I play Dead Space. Every few years, I will replay Dead Space. I don't have a new generation console, so I haven't played the remastered, but I've heard it's very, very good.
Gamecast?
Yeah, that's on Dreamcast.
That's on Gamecast.
That's on my PS.
Is that on Don't Be a Menace?
No.
I said I had Gamecast.
No. Listen.
No, you either got GameCube.
No, not this time. It's totally made up. Pure fiction. It's fiction. It's fiction.
Where you learn that from? Grand Theft Auto 3. Word? Can I borrow that? You got a PlayStation 2? Nah, I got Gamecast. Gamecast? Well, there's GameCube and then there's Dreamcast. What you got? Well, I said I got Gamecast, man. Damn, I can't afford it.
We were talking about
Let's get back to it. Get back to it. Let's find the moment again.
Skinamarink.
The low voice. He's going back.
Low voice. It ended. And then...
The kid.
The
daughter with her head off. The
daughter with her head off, no face.
Took your mouth away.
Then when you said the Evil Dead Rise trailer...
Then you said, oh yeah, Mommy's with the maggots
Mommy's
now.
with the maggots now.
So you actually
It was me, actually, that threw us off. Damn. Mommy will be with the maggots, though. Are you excited about that? My mom
I wish that's what the movie was called.
Concerts all the time.
Is that about Slipknot?
It's actually about Slipknot.
Mommy's with the maggots. She just had a Slipknot concert.
She likes Slipknot now.
She's with the maggots.
You used to sing Kryptonite with me every day. Now you're
3 Doors Down.
Moshing. Yeah. Anyway, Skinamarink by Dallas Buyers Club is great. But, you know, if you hate it, fuck you.
I could see why somebody would hate it, and I honestly, it's like, I get it. I get why somebody would hate this, but it's not for them. But don't say it's like, I don't think you can say it's shitty or it's, because it's just not. It's too well made. It's too, like, every shot is so intentional, and there's so many shots. Like the amount of
Oh my
setups
God.
are just insane. It's almost though as if you could craft this whole movie visually
In this room.
like ahead, without even having a story, and just like add a story through the sound design.
Yeah.
You know, like
Pretty
you could
much.
kind of just, because it's all voiceover. But
That sound design is imperative.
yeah,
It
it's
is.
fucking
It needs to be
crazy.
loud. Like watch it with headphones.
There's no, I just love there's no monster reveal. There's no like demon. That would have really ruined it.
Dude,
Like,
it keeps that same energy.
yeah,
Like,
it does.
keeps it 100
You don't have some
from the jump.
CGI smoke demon that
Nothing.
comes out, like, you know.
I was even
just is what
calling
it
it
is.
out on its jump scares. I was even going, "Oh fuck you! That's something these normal ass movies would do." I thought you were gonna keep it chill.
They use like a 60s era like boing, like a laser sound or something.
I hated that.
Oh, that was
That is my
creepy as
biggest
shit.
criticism now of
Oh,
this movie.
you didn't like the synth noise or whatever?
And doing it that early.
I respected the fuck out of it.
Nope, that sucks. That sucks. Why are you doing that?
Because it makes it creepy.
It's not creepy.
He probably felt he had
It
to
wouldn't
add some
make
things.
noise. If you want to go all the way, if you want to be a scary liminal space movie, there should be no fucking
That sound
noise.
would not have taken place in that
Of
space.
course not.
So it was like it was a stylistic
No,
choice.
you could do another sound. I
I
guess.
could have used some animated lightning bolts coming off him. I'm just kidding about that. I don't want to see that. I didn't mind the laser sound. I thought it was cool. You could do it on a phone.
Yeah, not to be patronizing or anything.
No,
like
I think
that.
it's innovative, man. He made something out of literally nothing.
I think if anything, Skinamarink shows, the growth of cinema. We're kind of seeing it in real time. World farts.
I'd like to see this guy direct something with a little bit more like substance.
I think
like,
you should go back
get
to
a-
YouTube.
I don't know, man.
He should
I'm ready to see
firstly
this guy.
feast it.
I'm ready to see this guy do a throwback with the synthwave
Nope.
soundtrack,
Nope.
80s soundtrack,
Nope.
creepy movie, but it's still super vibey.
Is it that?
He could be a vibey liminal Robert Eggers. I'm saying still keep it weird, but make something with a little bit more of like, I don't know, like a little more traditional cinematic aspects.
Bro, I'm good.
I'm ready for him to sell out. I don't know what his whole vibe is. If this is what he wants to do and he's able to make a bunch more weird shit like this,
Right.
I hope it happens. I hope he does it.
Yeah, and honestly,
I'll take whatever.
Calling myself out of my own shit here because what's his name? David Mitchell, who directed?
David Bruckner.
No, who directed? Oh, he did The Ritual, right?
Yeah, The Ritual.
I love me some David Bruckner.
Yeah.
The guy that made Lights Out and then did Shazam.
Yeah.
He's doing Shazam too. I guess
Same
his
kind of-
first
same kind of
short.
story.
His short was also like incredibly static.
Yeah, he made it
shots.
with him and his wife. I listened to a long podcast.
It's just a hallway,
about that.
right?
Yeah, just a hallway and very simple stuff. But
Yeah.
it's a gateway to get in there. So
That's
I
true.
kind of hope
I
this
guess-
guy is a weirdo
I
and
don't
just making
know-
weirdo shit though.
Yeah, I mean, I guess all you can do is hope for that. Yeah, I have no business. I don't know what he has aspirations for. This just has such a dense voice. Like it's such a statement that like, do another one of this.
What's the
man.
guy? I'm forgetting his name. It's pissing me off that I don't. Any other
What did he
moment?
make?
The guy who wrote the script for Kids and did Gummo.
Harmony Korine.
Harmony
Yeah.
Korine. Yeah, like this guy may be just another weirdo like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll take all the Harmony Korines we can get. You know what I mean?
It's just cool at least that we now know that does have an audience.
Yeah.
It does have an audience. I don't know if it'll ever break through.
if it gets that viral moment, it
because
will.
it's about 10% like as Paranormal Activity and Skinamarink I think are the most.
I've never
closely
seen
related.
Paranormal Activity. That's on my unbelievable. I can't believe
It'll
I haven't
look
seen
like
it.
a blockbuster compared to this.
Yeah.
And that was,
It
set
always
at the
looked a little
time.
contrived to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I need to see it.
And it's
though.
weird that this doesn't because of how far it goes.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't even feel contrived. Like this isn't a found footage.
See, that
movie,
goes.
dude.
That kind of echoes the exact same point where the camera shots don't feel like camera shots. It just feels like you're in the room watching. Paranormal Activity, you can tell like we need this frame, we need
It's a
this
found
back
footage
hallway,
movie.
and we need this bedroom, and we need this cupboard. We need to be able to see this drawer move. Or well, this movie isn't like that. You
This
see
is
very
liminal space.
like the corner of yeah. Yeah, you're not going to grab the homies to get together.
what's
with
a
some
good movie to
beers.
watch?
Yeah, you're not going to sit around and watch this. You'd be bored as fuck.
If
You'd
you're
lose
stoned
people.
at 2 a.m., I
Yeah.
mean, we took the Skinamarink challenge.
We did it. This is a very Skinamarink stony conversation about a very stony movie. This may even be a little too weird for your normal like A24 crowd. It's like it's more abstract than what you're looking for.
Like, who it's more a film goer question than a movie question. Like, is it a movie for them? It's like, well, is this person adventurous enough to see if they will get something out of it?
Right.
You got to be on its wavelength or don't. It's fine. It's not for you.
This is a hard movie to recommend. I mean,
yeah, it is a
if
hard
it
movie.
sounds challenging and you like challenging films, just that fuck with your head, watch it. You know, if
You're
you don't.
a cinemaphile?
Yeah, if it's like a definitely a cinephile style movie. I mean, I'm thinking of in recent memory a movie that was very divisive because people said it was just nothing, was The Green Knight. The Green Knight has a lot more going on in this movie. So it's even more weird than that.
Any movie. I can't think of a single movie that has less going on.
Yeah.
Guinness Book of Record for the least that goes on in a movie.
Set a camera in the hallway of your house or apartment and then just go to work.
Yeah.
And then just watch that footage when you get home and add some sound effects to it.
Yeah, add some sound effects. Yeah, put a light on. Get a little puppy treat thing that you can control from where you're at.
That's obviously like trivializing what this movie is, but a lot of the shots are just that.
To maintain it for 100 minutes.
It works. It works if you work it.
100-minute long speech class assignment, you know? It just feels like an eternity.
Good shit.
Good shit. Watch it.
All right. Yeah, watch it or don't.
Yeah,
we don't care.
No. Later. Ah! You know.
Oh, shit. That almost got me, dude. Oh, shit. That legitimate. I wasn't expecting that.
Lesson good, it's better than worse. Count my blessings, said it was severed a curse. This ain't no regular burn, it's a message, bitch. I've been this clever since birth. Every lesson I learned, I'm a weapon. Came out the box well rested, reverend. Check who suited my dressed in.